welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in today for our live Ask Me Anything with our CEO, Mike Seavers. We have a wonderful day planned for you, and we really appreciate y'all coming. A quick heads up on some technical questions that some of you might have. Same as when we did the Ask Me Anything on Discord, we will probably skew away from more of those questions. If you have any questions or concerns at all, please reach out to us in support at buildbox.com, Discord, the forum. We're more than happy to help. We got a couple of questions from the surveys we sent out email-wise, so we're going to probably dive into those, and we are looking at your questions, and we will be answering those as well following a few of those. Well, first up, I'd like to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, starting out with Mike.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike. It's great to be here. I'm glad everyone from the community could join us today. So, I've been at Buildbox for just 3 months now. Really excited to be here. Prior to being at home board at Buildbox, I worked at Riot Games as the CTO. So I led technology and production there for about 8 years. And before that, I've been a gamer my whole life. I've been in the software industry my whole life. And I love making video games. I love video games. I love playing video games. And so coming to Buildbox and App on Board was really just such a really incredible experience for me to be able to help the world make video games. So I couldn't be more excited to be here. So
I know we're excited to have you. Next up, Gemma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Gemma. I'm super excited to be here. This is the first time that I'm interfacing with the community in person, over camera. I joined Buildbox back in June. It's been really fantastic to be here. My experience comes from working with other games companies in education in the past, and I also used to run my own VR company that was focused on education as well. I'm super excited to be with a company that makes making games so accessible for everyone. I'm really excited to be here.
We're excited to have you too. Education is a huge opportunity for gaming in general and definitely for the future of Buildbox. Now, last but not least, a familiar face I'm sure you've seen on a couple of our live streams. Take it away, Zack.
Hey everybody, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Zack. I've been with Buildbox for about 3 years now, and I've made a lot of tutorials. I've done a few live streams. Maybe you've caught me with some Q&A on Thursdays or Fridays. And yeah, I'm really excited to do this live Q&A with you now. Now, just a heads up, everybody, so that you are aware, I ran a test on this earlier, and there's about a 8 second delay, like a good 7-8 second delay to the end user. So it takes a little bit for us to catch up to you. Okay, so just keep in mind as we're talking with you, we're gonna do this as quickly as possible, but there's a little bit of a delay. So this is gonna be great. Really excited to talk with you all and hear from Mike and Gemma and hear your questions. So this is going to be great. Really excited.
Thank you very much, Zack. Yeah, definitely keep that delay in mind. For those that don't know me, my name is Sean Connor. I'm just here to host and moderate this discussion. Community director for Buildbox. Been with Buildbox, I think it'll be 6 years at the end of this month. So it's been an awesome ride from very humble beginnings of Buildbox 1 to now being with App on Board, and Mike in the future is super bright. So I'm excited to have you all here. I want to kick into your questions. Mike, maybe you want to kick it off. You want to share your thoughts on Buildbox and what we can expect in the coming months? I'm sure everybody wants to know.
Yeah, sure, I can. When I decided to join Buildbox, one of the things that really impressed me was the community. But I also noticed in talking with the community that a lot of the needs and the challenges that have been expressed by the community have kind of gone unanswered. So I'm really excited to see that we're changing that. As I mentioned before in my letter to the community, I spent the last 3 months at AOB talking to the team at Buildbox about customer focus and about building customer empathy and understanding what it's like to be you using our software and struggling with some of the things that we can do better. And so for the rest of this year, we're going to be focusing on foundational stuff like fixing defects. We're going to be improving the quality of the software. we're also going to be doing a pass on the user interface. And we generally want to make it easier to use. We want to clean up all the old, out-of-date tutorials and record new ones. And from there, I really want to address what a lot of the long asked for features, plus some ideas of our own that we have to give to the community, to give you more tools to share your ideas, share your creations, make more complex games. I think you can expect to see things in the future. Like an asset store, offline access, the ability to share custom nodes and brain boxes, and even some new building blocks that we've been working on to again make it easier to make more complex type games and just more genres. Lastly, related to customer focus, we're taking that very seriously, and so we're going to be launching this week, in fact. A new feature request and bug reporting feature on our website. It's going to start out on the website soon. We're going to have links to it in the software itself. And we really want to hear from you. It's really important to me that we hear from the community about what are the things that are important to you. That input goes directly into our planning. When the team here can tell you, every time we talk about what features we want to work on, my first question is, what is this meeting? And so I really just encourage everyone to use that form to report issues you're having. Let us know what's on your mind in terms of features that you want to have, because that's going to really help inform our future roadmap. So on that note, Zach, I gotta say, with all your experience with Buildbox in this community and everything you've heard us talk about internally at the company over the last couple of months, maybe instead of everybody taking my word for it, maybe you could share a few things you're excited about with the direction of the company and the product.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So there's a bunch of really, really small things, bug fixes, updates to like more templates, more smart assets. But some of the things that I'm really looking forward to is offline use. I can't wait to be able to just use the software like anywhere I want without having to worry about an internet connection or losing my game file because I just dropped the internet connection suddenly and I forgot to save. And so that's one feature that a lot of you have been asking for a long time, and so we're working on that. That's definitely coming down the pipeline. And another one that I'm really excited about is the asset store. And I feel like this is going to open a whole new world for you guys. With the asset store, you'll be able to share your assets with the world, and you'll be able to create a new source of income potentially for yourself, for all the artists out there, for 3D designers, modelers, all of those people who want to share their artwork and use it and have it available for other people to use in their games. And it's just going to be an amazing feature that's going to bring the community together in this whole other way that it hasn't before. And I feel like we're already kind of doing that, like on Discord and on the forum and stuff. When we're meeting each other and talking with each other, we're saying, hey, I'm an artist, and I'm a programmer, and I'm a level designer or something like that, or I'm an animator, and we all kind of meet each other and find out what we do and how we can work with each other. I feel like this is going to be a really, really clear way for us to take all of the skills, all of the gifts that we all have and work with each other and create and build like these awesome, really fun games for the whole world to play.
Absolutely. I can say for certain that between you, Mike, and Zack, you just listed a lot of things that would make our community extremely happy based on what we've seen in support and all the other channels. So super excited about that. That being said, maybe it's about time to kick into one of our questions we got mailed into us. One of the questions was, what are your general thoughts on the hyper-casual game industry as a whole? Mike, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I think, when I get this question, I think people are generally asking, is hyper-casual here to stay? Is it going to continue to be a place where people can make great games and maybe even make a business off of that? And the short answer to that for me is yes. I think hyper-casual is here to stay. In fact, I think it's going to continue to grow. But I do think it may not necessarily grow and evolve in its current form. And here's why. I think gaming is going through the same evolution that film or other forms of visual media went through years and years ago. Now, not everyone can make a broadcast quality television show or a feature-length animated film. In the same way, not everyone is going to make AAA video games with hundreds of hours of content and graphics that push the limits of GPUs and things like that. But everyone can record a TikTok video. Everyone can write an Instagram story. Everyone can take a selfie. And this is what we currently kind of consider hyper casual, right? If you take that to gaming. And our vision at Buildbox is to make it possible for the world to make fun and engaging content and share it. And so, yeah, I do think what we call hyper casual today is going to stay, and I think it's going to evolve in the same way we've seen television or film evolve into YouTube and TikTok. Interestingly, no one calls a YouTube video a hyper casual TV show, so I also think we should probably move away from calling them hyper casual videos.
That all makes sense, and that is super exciting. That sounds like a major paradigm shift, even more than Buildbox has been in the past. So that's extremely exciting. On to our next question. Someone in the community asked, do you believe everyone here has what it takes to design a game?
With the current tools that are on the market, yeah, I think it's difficult. But that is the challenge that we're solving here with Buildbox. Using my prior analogy, can everyone make a TV show or a radio program? Yeah, they can now. They couldn't years ago, but they can today because the software and the platforms have become way more accessible and way more easy to use. So do I think everyone has the imagination and the creativity to make fun and engaging content? Absolutely. I mean, I've been dreaming up ideas for video games since I was, 10 years old. But there's so much more that the industry can do to simplify it, to make it easier and make it simpler to take those ideas and that creativity and that imagination and make it simpler to get those ideas, in the form of a game that you can play and share. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with Buildbox and where we want to continue to push Buildbox. Is to just continue to simplify and make it easy and make it simple so that really all you need to bring is an idea and creativity and imagination and you'll be able to make your game.
Absolutely. You said you wanted to make a game when you were 10. What game did you want to make when you were first?
Yeah, gosh, I don't know. There's probably a ton of crazy ideas. So I learned how to program on my Atari when I was 10 years old. That's how old I am. So, I was playing Joust and Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and Centipede. And so, I think a lot of my early game ideas were probably, clones or takes on those old arcade style games. If I can ever dig up some of my old ideas, I'll be sure to share them with everyone.
I'm sure that would be amazing to see. Mine, I always wanted to make Sonic the Hedgehog games when I was little. That's what got me. All right, let's kick things over to Gemma. We had a lot of questions about Buildbox tutorials. Can you run us through what users can expect and what you're currently working on?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been looking at a lot of the comments that we get at the tutorials, and we are aware. Some of them are a little out of date, some of them aren't perfect, and that's a lot of the reason of why I came on. Zack and I have taken a lot of time this last month to look over all of the videos, and we've reviewed them, and we've decided a lot of them, they aren't fit for what we want to be representing Buildbox, and they're not the best for what can be helping you, the user, to ensure that you guys can actually create games. So that means that we're going to be editing these videos, we're going to be re-releasing them, we're going to be putting out new tutorials all very soon.
Awesome. Those are definitely in high demand. We've certainly seen that request a bunch. What about templates? Will there be new templates coming?
Absolutely. So this is something that the education team is super excited about. Templates is something that I feel very passionate about because we can lead you to success from step 0 to end. So what this means is that we would release a template, a tutorial with written instruction, and also an asset pack so that when we're helping you create a game, you have all the tools, you have all the materials that you need to create that game, and we can show you how we do it step by step.
Sounds like a full package that'll make everybody happy.
Yeah, Gemma, I think I think it's one of the things you and I have talked about. Your vision is really exciting there, and we've talked a lot about our philosophy for empowering the community. I think the community would love to hear just a little bit more about kind of what we're thinking about there, just in terms of our overall philosophy. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started working with Buildbox, what really inspired me was how accessible it was. So I think Buildbox has done the first step, the really hard part, which is creating the really difficult software to make it very easy to make games. So we've done that part. We have an awesome piece of software that makes it really empowering for a lot of users to make incredible games. Now it's time for us to put our money where our mouth is and really double down on the community and create engaging content that ensures that the user can actually be successful using Buildbox. So this is really exciting for us because it means kind of a rebranding as a whole. New tutorials, new templates, a brand new education plan. I know Zack has been here a lot longer than I have, and he's always been excited about working with schools, with universities, partnering with organizations, and we're finally in a position to do that. We're finally in a position to roll out a lot of this new content. We have a whole new education plan, and we're really ready to get that started.
That sounds amazing. Do you have any tips for new game devs? Mike or Gemma?
Let's see, tips for new game devs. I think I think people that are especially making mobile games tend to want to they tend to think they need to take their game all the way to 100 levels right out of the gate, and that's simply not true. Like I think what is better is if you experiment, you develop a couple levels, you find the fun, find what's going to be fun about your game, and a lot of publishers really only need to see a couple levels to know that to test the game and to kind of understand whether a game's going to be a hit. We have our relationship with Quali, the publisher that we work with, and that's one of the things that they say a lot is we see people, developers want to develop 100 levels before they think their game is done, and that's simply not true. So I think experiment, really focus on what's going to make your game fun and sticky, engaging. Look for inspiration from other games, and I think the thing that I love about game development is there's always something to learn. So whether it's level design or art or animation or there's this never-ending kind of list of things that you can learn. And I think the more you learn about game development in general, the better developer you're going to be. So those are the things that come to mind for me. I don't know, Gemma or Zack, if you have anything you'd add to that.
Gemma, why don't you go ahead?
I would say definitely that there's a constant evolution factor for game design, and just always challenge yourself to never think you know it all, because it is always a learning process in the game development cycle. We got another question, and this one's super serious. It got mailed to us, so take a deep breath for this one. I want to know, what do you eat for breakfast?
What do you eat for breakfast? Gemma, what did you have for breakfast today?
I just had a yogurt and several cups of water.
So I normally eat either oatmeal or yogurt or a banana. Today I went crazy and had 2 eggs and an English muffin. So, how about you, Sean? What did you have?
Just coffee and water. I'm trying to lose some pounds, so I got back on my intermittent fasting. So breakfast is usually a hard-fought casualty when I'm doing that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Zach, you got your coffee there. Did you have any food today?
No. See, I have the quarantine 15 as well that I have to shave off. So what I had for breakfast was a run this morning, and that's what I had for breakfast, and some coffee.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like nobody's eating anything too heavy. I should have eaten some donuts. All this question just. All right. Here's another one that got mailed into us. Is Buildbox hiring?
Yes, we are. In fact, and we're going to be hiring more in the near future. So, I think the key roles that we're looking for right now are more game engine developers. So, we have huge plans for the for Buildbox and the game engine. So we're looking for senior engineering talent there. We're also looking for more leadership, especially in engineering and product management as well. We're going through some hiring planning over the next month or so, and I think there's going to be lots of roles that we're going to open up, and you can find those out on our website. If you go to our careers page, you can find a list of everything that we have open.
That sounds amazing. So yeah, you heard it from Mike. If you have talent, come and apply. And I can say, being now on the app on board side, it is a wonderful work environment and culture. It's truly a fantastic team. So it's a great place to work. So hopefully you'll see a couple of you on the front line soon. All right. So we've got a couple of questions from the chat. So we're not ignoring you guys. We appreciate your patience. This one comes from Steph Demand. He asks, when do you plan on releasing Buildbox 2 again?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are working on it right now. The team is hard at work on getting that released. We're still working through the planning. Part of the work that we need to do is to make sure that the Buildbox 2 and Buildbox 3, if you're using both tools, your account works the same between both of them and all of that kind of stuff. So we have a little bit of polishing that we're trying to do on Buildbox 2. So I'm not ready to give an actual release date, but I do feel pretty confident that it'll be this year. So sometime in the next couple months, 2 to 3 months, I think we'll be ready to have Buildbox 2 out there. If that changes, we will keep the community apprised, but I think everybody can expect that to be pretty soon.
So we appreciate your patience. Buildbox 2 is definitely a beloved product, and
absolutely
making there's not very much better on the market. So just hold tight. Another question coming in from the live chat that we have. We have Kraber Legends. He asks, Mike, are you in Discord?
I am in Discord. I'm listed in Discord. I'm Mike_S under the staff listing there. I don't get to spend as much time in Discord as I'd like to, with everything else that we have going on, but I do occasionally check in. We did an AMA in Discord a couple weeks ago, and we may do other events like that in the future that just kind of focus time with the community. So. But if you ever need to reach me on Discord, you can find me out there.
Yeah, the Discord community is fantastic. If you're watching this and you haven't been in there yet, we highly advise you join. You can either join in browser or on the client. You can go to our website and we have the link there under the community. It's a great place to get feedback and support. And I live and breathe in Discord pretty much every day of my life. So definitely, if you haven't been there, come on through. What about you, Zach? Are you in Discord?
Yes, actually, I'm in Discord. I have some major catch-up to do in both the Discord and forum. You won't believe with how many questions I get hit daily with, actually, and I try my best to catch up to all of them. I know I'm behind on some of them, but yeah, I love Discord. It was funny. I remember when we first started Discord, and we had just switched out from the forum, and we'd always put so much work into the forum. There was so much, just a treasure trove of valuable information in there. That's how I learned how to do everything, when I first got started. And then we when we opened up the Discord, I remember kind of being a little defensive about well, our forums just as good, right? What's wrong with our forum? We're it's awesome, right? And there was like a few of us, I think, that kind of felt that way as we transitioned. But something about like the instant messaging on Discord, it's just like a much more fluid way to like talk with you guys. So yeah, I'm on there usually in the evenings when I'm like sitting on the couch watching anime and just messing around with Buildbox and Discord and stuff. So yeah, you can find me on there. I'm Zack Rosette. Again, I've got some catching up to do. So if you just DM me or send me a private message, I'll start catching up to you eventually. But yeah, I love Discord.
Yeah, I think I speak for all of us. We're working on making sure we have as much presence available for you in all support channels, but Discord is definitely a place special for my heart. So thank you very much for that question, Kraber Legends. Another question, Me X Music, this one comes from. If I'm an influencer with lots of followers and I tell them about Buildbox, is there some reference link I can use?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean, or Zach, or Gemma, you want to talk about our ambassador program?
You can go ahead.
Go for it.
We haven't formally rolled out an ambassador program yet, but that's definitely in the pipeline. There's a lot of awesome creators out there, artists, game developers who are using Buildbox, and we want to paramount you all. I'm on Twitter and Instagram constantly seeing incredible videos and incredible examples. And there's no reason that you all shouldn't be helping us, and that there's no reason we shouldn't be paramounting what you're creating as well with Buildbox. So we are looking forward to rolling that out soon, and our marketing team will definitely put out a lot of noise about it, and we look forward to having a lot of creators join, and hopefully we can work together on getting more people to use Buildbox in the future.
And I have one thing to add to that. I'm really excited about this program because this is going to be like another source of like income for you guys if you wanted, or if you wanted to like pursue this. So we're working on also not just having like a referral program for just setting up other users or spreading the word, but also I've talked with a lot of you and I've gotten a lot of emails from a lot of you who want to like teach courses in your communities and in your areas or in like certain languages, right? Some of you will approach me and they'll say, hey, I live in this remote part of the world and there's just not a lot of resources in our language. I want to work with Buildbox, and so we're working on a way so that you can do that and you can support yourselves and your family. It's just another way that you can incorporate Buildbox into your life and turn your passion into your career. So I'm really excited about the referral program. That's another one that we're rolling out here in a couple months, and it's going to be great. You guys are going to love it.
That all sounds super, super exciting. I know when you sign up now, you do get a bit of a referral link, and if you refer one friend, I believe you get our Neon City art pack, or at least one of our art packs, but that sounds like it is fantastic. So just hold tight, and we'll have the ambassador program out to you as soon as possible. All right, our next question comes from Corey Chuewell. Tilemap support. Will it ever come to Buildbox? Would make building levels so much quicker and easier?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And just to kind of reinforce our philosophy, we're looking at anything and everything that we think will make making video games easier, faster, simpler. And yes, the tilemap creation is one of those things. I do think that is something you can expect to see in the future. When we are still kind of working on our roadmap, as I mentioned, we're really focusing the rest of this year on quality, and just making sure the application is solid and stable for all of you, and some of the things that will help with that, like offline access and those kinds of things. I think in next year, we're going to push really hard on new features and new capabilities and things like that. And yes, tilemap editing is actually on the short list of things that we expect to have pretty soon. So.
All right. Along with that, I mean, I know we're not talking about specific targeted new features, but one that we've seen a couple questions about from various on that thread is multiplayer, of course. Do you see the feature as well?
I would. Yes, I would love to. I would love to offer that as an option. But to be perfectly candid, that is not an easy problem to solve for a product like Buildbox. Again, if we're trying to simplify game making, there's kind of 2 or 3 things you can do in a video game that make the complexity 10 times harder. One is going from 2D to 3D. The other one is adding multiplayer because there's so much to think about in terms of latency and connectivity, and whether you need a server or you're doing peer-to-peer, or even within multiplayer, there's a ton of different ways to kind of hook that up. So it is something that we are committed to looking at. That is something we're committed to investigating, but again, unless we have confidence that it will be simple and easy and something will actually not make the software harder to use and make it more difficult and more challenging to make video games, that's kind of the bar that we have before we're going to want to release a feature like that. So it is something that we want to look into. I think someone pointed out, there are things like the cost of servers and things like that we have to consider. And so, I mean, obviously, if you want to have great video games, multiplayer is a key piece of that, and I think we're committed to trying to figure out how to solve that problem. It's just a matter of when and how long that's going to take. So.
That all makes perfect sense. I mean, yes, multiplayer is basically Buildbox, a game development tool. You basically have to make a whole development tool in itself for multiplayer. So it's a major question that's being asked, but we definitely would like to solve, but make sure we solve the right way.
I would say that we're probably, before multiplayer comes out, we'll probably tackle some sort of AI system first, where we don't have to rely on a bunch of servers what we'll do is we'll probably create something like the .io games that you see coming out of from Voodoo, where you have it almost looks like you're playing a bunch of people, like a bunch of live people, in these sliding games that Voodoo has and stuff, and I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but if you put it on airplane mode, if you play that the games on airplane mode, you're still playing against other people, it looks like. So it's actually just an AI system that you're not playing against real players, but it feels like multiplayer. And I think that is actually that there's definitely, it's super popular right now, and that would be really useful for you guys to have that sort of functionality. So I think that'll probably happen before multiplayer, I think.
Yeah, I was just talking with one of our engineers yesterday, where looking at some ideas and prototypes, and we're constantly experimenting and prototyping out new ideas, and we were talking about AI and even simple AI that could be configurable and node based, so that people can have build their own AI into their own games. There's definitely a lot of opportunity there. But yes, I totally hear everybody on the multiplayer thing. Obviously, that opens up a whole new world of video games. So yeah, I get it. We just we want to make it simple.
I'm sure multiplayer is well on people's minds as they look at the top of the App Store and see Among Us currently. So I'm sure that is reiterating that. Oh man, that'd be really awesome if I could make a game like that. All right. Our next question is aimed at you, Mike. It comes from CG Brush. Hey, Mike. Since you worked with Blizzard, have you had any experience on the art side? And are you able to do some lessons or an art-related stream?
So that's a good question. I have worked, especially when I was at Riot. I've worked with some amazing artists and art directors and art teams. But I am an engineer, kind of by trade, and at heart. What artists are able to do seems like magic to me. I'm sure they feel the same way about what software engineering feels like to them. So I don't know that I'd be the best person to help you with your live stream, but maybe there's folks at Buildbox that would be better able to help you there. So we can talk about that if you DM us or something like that. So.
I think we've even talked about maybe potentially some Buildbox or very, very good Buildbox users potentially doing something along those lines as well. So it's not something in our purview at least.
Actually, yeah, I think so. Ben Scriven actually emailed me one night and asked me. He was like, "How do you do your live stream setup?" And I think I sent him just like this amazing document, like where I went through every single thing that I've got and all the steps, and he loved it. So maybe I could share that with the community. Actually, I think that would benefit you guys would like that, and encourage you guys to do more Buildbox live streams, because I definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely. I think we touched on this before. It comes in from one of our Facebook viewers. Will there be a Buildbox store for templates, assets, and whatnot?
Yeah, so the answer to that is absolutely. There's no question there. In fact, that's probably next on our kind of major roadmap. And there's really two pieces to that. One is just making it easy for people to find and use assets within the software, because even that, I think there's a lot of opportunity for improvement there. But where I get really excited and kind of after that is for the community asset marketplace, where let's say you've made a really cool animation or model that you want to share with the community. You would ideally be able to post that into the asset store and share that with the community, and potentially we need to figure out what commerce would look like and whether how we do payments and things like that. But that's for art, that's for templates, and we even have some other really kind of cool ideas up our sleeve about how we can share even more kind of components, building blocks for game making that we are not ready to reveal yet, but I'm really excited about some of the types of tools that we're going to be able to that you'll be able to build within the software itself, and then share those with each other, with the community, and sell those in the asset marketplace to help make it easier to make video games. So
that all sounds amazing, and I know that'll definitely be able to help users take their game development with Buildbox to the next level. I know the masses have clamored for it, so we are listening, and it is a priority. I want to thank everybody. If you're in the chat and you're just tuning in, we're still reading your questions. Keep in mind there is a delay, but we appreciate them. Keep sending them in. Keep them coming. I do have a question for all of us. Actually, take a quick little pause. I wanted to ask: do you have a favorite Buildbox created title, and what is it?
That's a great question.
Well, I can get off one.
Go for it, Sean. Yeah.
I have two. My favorite one is probably the Lion's End. I did a lot. I had a hand in it. Me and Trey Smith and Nick, but I did a lot of level design, and it went viral, and ended up becoming the #1 game in the App Store, and that one's special to me. And then also Dare Evil EXE is by far one.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a classic for sure. Go ahead, Zach. What's on your list?
I was gonna say Dairy Evil, for sure, because that one was made by a really good friend of mine, Darius Guerrero. It's funny because I actually for 2 years, I only knew Darius online. And I would call him Darius, and then I finally met him in the Philippines, and I went and talked with him, and everybody called him Darius, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been saying it wrong for 2 years. And but yeah, he made DairyEvil.exe, and it's such an awesome game. I love that one because it kind of trolls you, and it has a bunch of like techniques in here. a bunch of techniques in there that you don't see too often, and there was techniques in there that at the time had never been used before, and so I really like that game. But I would also say Color Switch is up there for me too, because that's actually what made me jump into Buildbox. That's what got me hooked on, was the story of Color Switch, and I wanted to test out this amazing software that you could just make games so fast. So Color Switch is up there for me.
Awesome.
I would definitely say Color Switch for me too. That definitely, when I learned that was built on Buildbox, I was like, whoa. And I played The Last Runner too. That one was pretty addictive.
Yeah. For me, so Dare for sure, Color Switch. I really enjoy. I think I really like Ben Scriven's game, Knight Rider. Just because it shows the creativity that you can express with the tool. Some newer things I've seen, Stairmaster. If anybody's seen that one, that one is a heck of a lot of fun. But probably my favorite game is one that we really need to figure out how to share this with the world. So we had an internal company game jam a couple weeks ago, and we did that game jam because I wanted everybody in the company to experience what the software was like, and come up with ideas and stuff like that. And so one of the teams made a game that was a survival game based on the quarantine. And it was epic. The animations and the gameplay were just so much fun. It was a character going around the house trying to find things to do to stay occupied during the quarantine. So that's my favorite so far, I think.
That's a good one.
All great choices. Yeah, definitely. If you're out there designing games with Buildbox, definitely know we do play a lot of them. All right, let's kick back over to questions that are coming in live from our users and reviewers. Will you ever give us exporting features in the free version again?
Yeah, it's a great question, and one we get a lot, because I know we changed our pricing and we took away the mobile export stuff. And I know this is so. There's two parts to this question, or to my answer. One is why did we do that? And I think it's there's always a balance you have to strike between being a profitable company that's going to stay around for a long time, and doing and giving away everything for free. And as a platform that makes it possible for people to generate mobile video games, we really needed to kind of think about is this company going to be around for a long time? Meaning, are we going to continue to be able to invest in Buildbox and all of that? And so the mobile export and the ability to kind of create games there is one of the most valuable features that we have, and we're giving away for free. Now, that's one part. The other part is that we realize that that's really important to the community, but if anybody who's done the mobile export also knows that's one of the more complicated and complex parts of getting your game done, because you got to export it, you got to have Xcode, you got to have all of those pieces in place. And so we are actually looking at that part of the pipeline and asking, how can we make that easier, right? How can we make it easier for, once you're done with your game, to get it on your mobile device without, in simplifying that whole process of Xcode or Android Studio and all of that kind of stuff. So we think we've found a way, or at least we have an idea of how we can do that. And we want to give mobile export back to the community, but we want to do it in a way that also makes it ridiculously simple. And so we are working on that solution. I think we will have that solution by the end of the year, early part of next year, and we'll be really excited to offer that back to the community. So in the meantime, I recognize that was a big change for the community, and I know mobile export is very important. forward. So we are working on a better solution that we'll have by the end of the year or early 2021.
I know a lot of our community would be really excited about, especially the latter part of that, doing it the right way. I know our one of our biggest users, Al Cox, actually says he always loses his key store and has trouble updating on the App Store. So it sounds like that would help resolve that.
Yeah. Zack, you look like you might have been, you were going to say something.
Yeah. Hey, Smart Penguins, are you still on? I wanna address this because I love Smart Penguins. Okay, this is a guy who's been really, really helpful to me. He's been great for the community. He's constantly building, and he was. I can tell he's a little frustrated. And saying I feel like Buildbox is the same old. We're constantly working. They're constantly building. And you're just left waiting. And I understand. Trust me, I understand. I was a customer once too. I remember waiting for features like the health feature, in Buildbox too. It was like a health bar, in Buildbox too. It just, I was, waiting for that, and it does take time. Now here's the deal. I understand how frustrated that can be as a customer, and trust me, on our end too, we want to try to roll things out as quickly as possible. I especially I love moving fast. I love pushing out materials as quickly as possible and getting updates to you as quickly as possible. But here's the deal. So in the transition from BB to BB3, and we're this growing company, there was a lot of foundational things that we needed to fix and change for the long term, okay, the long run. So this is so that we are able to be an awesome, reliable software company that you're going to be able to continually grow with for years and years to come. And right now, I know there's a little bit of a waiting period, a little bit of a holding pattern, and it's frustrating, okay? And I can tell you that it's not going to be long, okay? Right now, there's the way I kind of like to think of it is a little bit like in cartoons, like the Roadrunner or something like that, where they're peeling out right before, and they're spinning their wheels really, really fast before they just go lightning fast, straight forward, and then go blazing off into the distance, okay? I feel like right now, we're at that point where we've been spinning our wheels and we're ready to go, and we're about to just launch forward. So I wanted to talk to you about that, and I want you to know that it's not going to be this this constant we're working, we're waiting, and all that stuff. We are going to start rolling out some serious updates that are going to make some significant changes in the software and in your lives. So I wanted to address that.
Yeah, I think something else that I don't mind sharing with the community here. We talked about this a lot when I early on in when I joined the company. It is about trust and about trust with the community. And I can't change the past. I can't change the fact that people have been waiting for a long time. I wish I could. When I went into Discord and I was looking at survey feedback and all of that kind of stuff. It just, there was this part of me that was like, man, I really want to give the community everything they're asking for. And so I went to the company and I said, we have to do something. We have to be different. We have to listen to what our users are telling us. Because they've poured their time and money into this product. But Zach's right, and this is the part that I wish we could change. But it's been a couple months of just making sure that we have our strategy clear. The whole company knows what we're going to work on and why, and fixing a lot of the foundation. I want to build this house on top of a solid foundation, and there were some cracks that we needed to fill. And so, I can tell you, we have a release coming up. I think today or tomorrow. The team, there are 3 pages of defects that we fixed that are going to that release. We kicked off another development cycle yesterday. One of our teams. We've got, another 2 or 3 pages of user interface fixes that we're going to be doing. Gemma and the tutorials team, they've identified tons of fixes that we need to make to our tutorials to update. And so, those are just the basics, right? But I can tell you, and again, don't take my word for it. You can hear from Zack or Sean or Gemma. We have talked about mobile, console, multiplayer. We've talked about offline access, which we're actually working on right now. We've talked about the asset store. We've talked about new types of development that we aren't ready to share it yet. We've talked about collaboration. How do we do that? We've talked about performance. We've talked about all of those things. Like those are, and we have a lot of those trains moving. Again, we're not ready to commit to exactly when those things are going to be done because we're still a pretty small company. But I want, if you take nothing away from this live stream, I hope you hear it. It's from my heart. I believe so strongly in this vision and the ability to empower everyone to make video games. Like we are sprinting as hard and as fast as we can to meet all those unmet demands that I know have been pent up sometimes, in some cases for years. We're going to fix it, and that's what I'm most excited about. But to Zach's point, we're just kind of getting the engine revved up, and we're going to be hopefully you're going to be seeing a lot of big changes here real soon. So.
Yeah, it's definitely an element of we got to walk before we run and build the foundation. But I can say internally that the changes that have been put in effect, you'll be seeing the results sooner than you think, and we really appreciate your patience and you still having faith in Buildbox. I think we mentioned, we talked about, we've talked about consoles. We did have a question. We posted a picture of a controller with Buildbox, and it was a Nintendo Switch controller. Would we eventually have that as an export option?
Yeah. I think I just mentioned we have talked about what console support would look like. That is probably a future kind of roadmap item. As I said, I think there's some other things that we want to focus on first that we think are going to be a lot more kind of pervasive for all kinds of games and things like that. But console support is definitely something that's on my mind. So we have some prototyping we need to do and figure out where that fits in our roadmap. But absolutely something I want us to look at.
Absolutely. We've got a couple more minutes left, so keep those questions coming. If we do not get to you by the end of this, we probably will do something similar to this in the future. And as I said, we are in Discord, support, a forum. So if we don't tend to your question before this ends, definitely just keep it coming and send it in through one of those channels as well.
Actually, one thing I'm going to add, didn't mean to interrupt you, Sean, but one thing I'll add to the Buildbox controller bit real fast. There are actually people that you can go to, artists and people like on Etsy and stuff like that you can work with that will put the Buildbox logo on an Xbox controller, a PS4 controller. They'll put the Buildbox logo on anything. So if you want to kind of be ahead of the curve, I mean, it's coming eventually. How cool would it be to have a controller that was made years in advance? So go for it. If you want to check it out, I can maybe provide a link or something like that to somebody who does it, and it's pretty cool. So it's fun for sure, and I can't wait. I'm so excited to play and make games for the Nintendo Switch. I couldn't wait. I went ahead and I made a controller already. So all right. Anyways, Sean, I'll let you go ahead.
For what it's worth, I love my Switch too. So I have all the game consoles, but that's a fun one to kind of carry around.
Well, I'm sending you a controller, Mike. Actually, yeah, I'm in the works of it. I was a little late to the game, and it takes months to make actually, so it's coming.
All right. We got time for just a few more questions. What influenced your decision to continue working on Buildbox 2?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. There's probably two big reasons, well maybe three, and I've already kind of touched on these a little bit earlier, but I'll highlight them because I kind of went through it pretty fast. One is going from making 2D games to making 3D games, it increases the complexity tenfold. Not only for you as the game creator, but also for us as the the engine supporting a 3D engine is way more complicated than a 2D engine. And so that's one. Two, not everybody wants to make 3D games. And if what you want to make is a 2D game and you don't want to have to deal with all the extra complexity, then Buildbox 2 is a great product for that. And the third thing is it matches our vision. Our vision is to make it easy and simple for everyone to make video games. And I know a lot of our community. You've been using Buildbox for a long time. You've been making games for a long time. If you think about a person who's just getting into game development, a person who just discovered Buildbox, Buildbox 2 is a great place to start. It's a great place to make fun games in a real simple and easy way. Learn about game development, learn about the Buildbox kind of universe, and then from there, maybe graduate into more complex 3D games. Now you don't have to, but that's kind of the current state. And since we have this product, Buildbox 2, and it's kind of just sitting on the shelf where new users can't get to it. And we thought that was a shame. So we think it fits our vision. We think it's a great product that some customers may just want to use to make great 2D games. And so we thought, why not put it back out there to the community? Now, to be clear, our long-term vision is that those two products become one. We do want the Buildbox product to be as simple to use as Buildbox 2 for 2D games and 3D games. But while we're going down that path, while we're working to make those two products one product, having Buildbox 2 out there just makes sense. So that's what led to that decision.
That all makes sense. And I know, as I said, Buildbox 2 is beloved. There's a majority that love it, and there's some people that have used it and made successful games, and then now they love the Z-axis. But it's definitely some people prefer to design with just the X and Y. I think we got time for about one more question and maybe some final thoughts. On that note, do you think this one comes from Red Cat Games? Do you think Buildbox should evolve towards one of the big engines, or should it just remain Buildbox? And I guess you can interpret that one however you like.
Yeah, I think I would have to understand what is meant by evolving towards the big engines. But here's what I can tell you. A lot of I love Unity as a product. I love Unreal as a product. Again, having worked at a AAA game studio, those are amazing products for making amazing games. But a lot of those engines are geared towards really Epic with Unreal Engine is kind of put in Unity is doing as well, like pushing the envelope in terms of realism in graphics and really, really high-end visual fidelity and those kinds of things. And what that means is now you need a really high-powered computer that has all this memory and high-powered GPUs and all of that kind of stuff. Which is, again, that's great if what you're going after is that AAA kind of super hyper-realistic experience. And so they're pushing the boundaries of game engine technology, right? And again, they're great products for that. I think, while we want to be able to support a lot of different genres and a lot of different games, our strategy is different. Our approach is different. We're trying to make it easy for everyone in the world to make video games. And so we're not trying to innovate on GPU technology. We're not trying to innovate on rendering technology. We're trying to innovate on how do we simplify the game making process? How do we innovate on, our AI-driven game development? How do we innovate on, those kinds of things that make the game creation process simpler? And so, I don't want us to move towards pushing the boundaries of technology. I want us to move to push the boundaries on simplifying game making. So I do think Buildbox will stay Buildbox. That's my interpretation of that question. So if that isn't the question you were asking, jump in Discord, ping us, let us know, and I'll answer differently depending on what you intend. So.
Thank you so much for that, Mike. All right, so we're coming up on time. I want to thank everybody for viewing, and if you submitted a question that didn't get answered, as we said, Discord, forum, any of our channels, our ears are open. Mike, did you have any final thoughts you wanted to say on your way out?
I guess I'll just say, thank you all for being here. I just, this community was one of the things that drew me to joining App on Board and the Buildbox team. And I also want to thank Sean and Zack and Gemma, and there are many, many people behind the scenes who made today possible. I want to thank all those folks. The other thing that drew me to this company was the amazing talent that we have. So thanks to all of you. I just, I have to say, I'm really excited about what's in front of us. We have a lot of things in store for the community. I know you've been waiting for a long time, and I'm hoping you'll give us that opportunity to make good on those promises with you. And as I said, we have those things launching for, submitting defects or bugs, or, giving us feedback, requesting features. Please use those tools. That's how we're going to decide what we work on next, is with, a combination of input from the community as well as kind of where we're going from a strategy perspective. So that's it. Thank you all for joining. I hope we get to do this again soon. If you have any follow-up questions or things, we can probably move the conversation to Discord. So thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everybody.